Welcome to Thank God It's Monday. I'm your host, Eric Twiggs. Joining me is Ted Fells, and we are the Digital Dudes. Today, we want to talk to you about shifting your focus on failure. A lot of people dread Mondays because they just have this fear of failure and dread the worst case scenario that can go wrong. It kind of reminds me, Ted, years ago, I was in Toastmasters International, and I had this mentor. And this mentor was just doing big things in the speaking world, speaking on these international stages, doing great things. And he said that he belonged to 4 different Toastmasters clubs at the same time. And I thought that was strange. I'm like, why would you join 4 different Toastmasters International clubs at the exact same time? Who has that kind of time? And here's what he said. The reason I'm doing this is because I want to quadruple my failure rate. It doesn't seem like it makes sense on the surface, but the real key is that one of the best ways to get better is to fail faster. Right? Most people are trying to avoid failure, but the best way to get better is to fail faster. And it's really important that we see failure as an event and not as an identity. Right? A failure is just an event. So a lot of times we fear failure because we see it as an identity. I am a failure. No, failure is just an event. And the key to keeping that thing in the right perspective is to make sure you identify as someone who's always learning. Right? If you're always learning, there's nothing to fail, because even when you experience nothing to fear, even when you experience that failure, you know that you're getting better. So you have to have that perspective. That'll help you to overcome that dread. So Ted, what are your thoughts on that?
First thoughts are trying to get unmuted.
That always helps, right?
I was failing to get unmuted, but I kept trying and I was able to unmute. So it's interesting. I got this T-shirt with the saying, I think they said from Nelson Mandela, said, I never lose, I learn. Right. So I think I think that's really key, right? That you're learning in every situation. What they say, fail forward. I've heard that before as well.
Right.
Like all those things you're looking at those as ways to improve your game, right? So if you just, constantly are looking at that as a way to learn and to better yourself, then it's doesn't have that negative connotation, right? That I failed, I missed out on this. And I am a failure. No, you just, you missed it this time, but you'll get it the next time. You'll get it the next time. So I think if you have that type of a, mindset in it, then yeah, I think that it's not going to be a thing that really defines you. That's the thing that just continues to drive you, right? Don't let it define you. Let it drive you. And I think if you do that each time, then there's something that seems like you didn't get it. You're going to be right back up. What is it? First you don't succeed. Try again. Like all of these things that you learn from childhood. I mean, it all just kind of comes together. So don't take your head and put it in the sand because you didn't get something done. You just I think it's failure. I think the concern is if you quit.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
If you let that fail, I don't care how many times you take that exam. I don't care. At the end of the day, you get your degree. And nowhere in your degree does it say that you failed you failed 50 exams. Like it's did you get the degree? Did you get the certification? Right? Did you get the certification? I even had a situation one time. I was going after this technical certification years ago, and another associate of mine, we kind of made this little bet, like who would get this certification first. And it was maybe 6 tests that we had to take. And man, I would just be I'd set my exam for next Monday. And he'd be like, are you ready? Are you prepared? No. In school, they don't allow you an opportunity to ask when you're ready to take an exam, right? They're like, it's next Monday. And so I prepare for it and I'd go. And there's times that I did not pass. And I went right there and I signed up immediately right there at that testing center for another one. Right. So by the time, we got through this thing, man, I got through it a lot faster than him. Now I probably took about 20 of them. When it's probably only needed like half of that. But, I was able to get through it. And I didn't, I was not going to allow myself to have my head in. I was going to get it done. Bottom line was all about getting it done. So no matter what it is, you just stick it out and keep pushing forward. And if you don't, succeed, and use that as an opportunity to learn and get better.
Yeah, I mean, you said something that's tweetable. You said, "Don't let failure define you; let it drive you." Man,
That's a
that's
different
really
T-shirt, right? That's my
right,
T-shirt.
right. That's
That's right.
our key takeaway for this. Thank God it's Monday. Don't let failure define you; let it drive you. Speaking of letting failure drive you, or allowing failure to drive you, you have to join us this evening at 6 p.m. Eastern Time on the 30-Minute Hour podcast. We've got David Hollenbach is going to be our guest, and the theme is going to be how to transform your failure into fuel. That's right. He's written a book on the topic. He's got a lot of really strong insights that will inspire you to be driven by failure and not to allow failure to cause you to stop. Make sure you check us out this evening, 6 p.m. Eastern on the 30-Minute Hour podcast. We thank you for today. Thank God it's Monday. Have a happy Monday, and we look forward to seeing you later.
Take care.